Welcome to our series about Fort Donelson National Battlefield located in Dover, Tennessee. While this is not an official stop on the Donelson National Battlefield tour, this was in fact one of the last places of defense for the fort. The majority of information read is from signage inside of the national park. We did look up other information from the source materials that are available in the description box. All aboard the Kentucky-Tennessee Living Time Machine. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us to Fort Donelson National Battlefield. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger time machine to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. After being ordered to help fortify Fort Donelson from an attack by Ulysses S. Grant, Buckner saw that the situation was hopeless. After fighting against the oncoming army for 2 days, Buckner asked what the terms of surrender would be, and the reply came from Grant, quote, "No terms except an unconditional and immediate surrender can be accepted," unquote. Buckner felt that these terms were, quote, "ungenerous and unchivalrous," unquote, but nonetheless surrendered. Simon Buckner served as Kentucky governor from August 30th, 1887 to September 2nd, 1881. This is the ridge that we're going to be talking about. This is Buckner's last defense. Confederate States of America, Brigadier General Simon B. Buckner's division. On February 15, 1862, about 1 p.m., this division, in compliance with General Floyd's orders, withdrew to its original position within the trenches covered by the 2nd Kentucky and the 41st Tennessee. Only a small portion of the division had reached its position when Smith's division attacked the right flank of the Confederate line. Fell upon Colonel Hanson's regiment before it had reached the rifle pits and threw it back in confusion upon the 18th Tennessee. Hastily forming a line behind the crest of this ridge, Colonel Hanson's regiment repulsed the ensuing attack against this position. Reinforced by the 14th Mississippi, the 3rd and 18th Tennessee regiments, as they arrived, and supported by Porter's and a section of Graves' artillery. The 2nd Kentucky was able to maintain its position against repeated assaults. Towards the close of the action, which lasted over 2 hours, General Buckner's division was reinforced by the 42nd Tennessee, Colonel Quarles, the 50th Tennessee, Colonel Shug, and the 49th Tennessee, Colonel Bailey. Unsuccessful in an attempt to recover the lost trenches, General Buckner's division had to be content to maintain its position along this ridge. And again, we're going to look at the ridge. It's really a beautiful area. Very quiet. Had to stop and take a moment here to look at this little hollow. Can you imagine troops coming up this hollow towards you to attack? That would be wild. And it also come out of the trees. Wow. If I'm not mistaken, and I will look this up, but I do believe Simon Buckner is the same guy who became a governor for the state of Kentucky. And he ended up doing a lot of things with the feuds. He was kind of an interesting character. But I will look that up to make sure I have the right guy first.
Buckner's defense to stop the Confederate breakout attempt on February 15th, Grant sent his reorganized troops against the Confederate left. At the same time, to take advantage of the weakened enemy line, he sent C.F. Smith's division against the Confederate right. Smith's forces rolled over the Confederate outer defenses and pushed the Southerners back to a position along the ridge that is in front of you. There, the charge was halted by Buckner's forces, who had arrived just as the Union assault had begun. Afterwards, Buckner had paid a tribute to the field artillery for its role in checking the Yankee advance. The strong new defensive position on the ridge and coming of night ended the fighting. The Union forces grudgingly withdrew to the old Confederate defense line. In this desperate fighting, several hundred men lost their lives. Many of them still lie in this area in unmarked graves. That's sort of sad that they really did not have time to bury the dead here. Wow.
Confederate States of America, Brigadier General Simon B. Buckner's Division, Jackson's Virginia Battery. This battery of 4 pieces occupied this position on the night of February 13, 1862. On February 15th, it proceeded with the division to the left of the entrenchments, where it participated in the attack against the Federal line.
Also, looking from a different position of the ridge here, you can see way down in there, there's a holler. That's kind of interesting. And they may have lined up against the ridge in this direction, going this way, instead of up the hill going that way. I mean, it would make more sense to me if you had a line going up this way to defend from people coming at you from this direction, and then having people along this ridge to keep people from coming at you from this direction. I'm just saying, you know, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't there, but it kind of makes sense to me. What about you? Let me know in the comment section.
Thank you. We at Kentucky, Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our visit to Fort Donelson. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification button. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky, Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Civil War history.